Hello, hello, hello. I'm off to MCM Birmingham this weekend, and this is the experience. Get ready for the highs, get ready for the weird lows, the slows. It was a weird one. So buckle in and let's get into it. So we have just hit some stop-start traffic on our way to Birmingham. We're about halfway there. Yeah, just under halfway there, and it's normally quite a nice drive. I've been to Birmingham a couple of times now, and I do quite like the drive up there. It's mostly motorways, and not too difficult.
There's a speed camera ahead.
Won't be a problem. I am in traffic. I am really excited for this event, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's my second of 3 MCMs for the year, and my second event where I've got 2 tables for my display. I spoke about this in my MCM prep vlog that is on my channel about how I'm using these 3 events as a way to ramp up to a large display. And this is like this is like a baby L. My tables will be positioned in like a T shape. So in terms of usable like space on my table, it's going to be about a 10-foot display. In terms of table location, I have got a corner spot for this event, which I'm excited to see. I typically quite like corner spots because it means that people can see your display from multiple directions. Now, there was a bit of drama with booking this event. So because I'm posting this after the event, I think it's okay to like spill it a little bit. Okay, so I booked a retailer table for this event. So that's where you have your 2 tables. And I booked all 3 of my MCMs in one go. I booked Birmingham and 2 Londons. And the invoices came through. I signed the invoices, paid the deposits on them, and then paid the second half of the table like closer to the date. But the organisers kind of messed up when they invoiced for the retailer tables at Birmingham. And the thing is, I remember getting the invoice and thinking, bloody hell, that is cheap. For reference, the table was about a third of what the London one was. And I know that the London event is huge. The London events are huge. But I kind of thought that even though the Birmingham event was cheaper, it was like a lot cheaper. I didn't think too much of it, and I signed my invoices, paid the deposit, and then sort of moved on with my life. And then about 6 weeks ago, everyone who was like a retailer, so there's different tables, right? Artist alley, retailer, and corporate, to keep it simple, and that goes up in price. But everyone who was like in the retailers gets an email saying, "I'm so sorry, there was an error with your invoice, and we need to charge you like £250 more for your table." And I was like, no. I sort of like replied and was like, "Can you give me some more information about what's gone wrong with this invoice? I'm just trying to figure out like, huh?" And they came back and said that they hadn't included furniture rental in the invoice, and that with the furniture rental, that's another 200 odd quid. And even then, I was like, nah, that's bullshit, because the furniture rental, even as a retailer, your furniture rental is like 2 trestle tables and like a back wall, like a back wall like that you can Velcro things to. It's 200 pounds. It is not. On the invoice, it had like retailer package with the price next to it, and underneath it had like what was included in the retailer package, and in there was the furniture rental. So I went back and was like, "Sorry, I am so confused because I've just looked at my invoice, sent a screenshot, and it says furniture rental's been included. So I'm just confused as to why you're asking for more money." So then all the retailers are now sort of having conversations amongst ourselves, and we're like, "So what do we do? Like, do we just pay this, even though like, I guess legally we shouldn't have to, but then equally, no one wants to piss off like ReedPop, who run MCM, because they run all the MCMs, and if you piss off this big company, they can just blacklist you, right?" But long story short, they ended up backing down, and everyone got an email that basically said, like, as a gesture of goodwill, we're not going to charge this extra amount. But I have heard a couple of reports of people who have booked retailers and who hadn't paid their deposit before this all came to light. So they got issued a new like invoice that has the new number on. So there are definitely going to be people at this event who have paid like a lot more than other people for the same space. And here we are at our home for the weekend. Now I'm actually kind of happy because we have this gorgeous wall right here. I was worried that this side of my stand would be completely exposed, but actually this is really quite a nice little place. We're like on a corner right next to the treehouse, whatever that is. So hopefully there'll be a decent flow of traffic around here. But the aisles do look pretty big. There's tons of aisle space. So hopefully, even though we're at an intersection, it's not going to become congested. I've just picked up my passes for the weekend. They gave me 2, but I'm just me this weekend, so I won't need both of them. So I have got one as like a, in case I lose one of them. How I would lose one, I don't know. Walking around the space actually feels really big. It feels weirdly big. I've been here for MegaCon earlier in the year, and I'll be back here for MegaCon in December. But this space is split into 2 halls. I've just come down like that flight of stairs, which separates the 2 halls. It feels like all the art stuff is in this hall, and all the reselling stuff, for the most part, and tabletop gaming is in the other hall. But the space is pretty big. It's obviously not as huge as London is, but I think as long as they can fill this space, I'm really optimistic about how this weekend's going to go. Are you joking? You actually taking the piss? Is that? It's just like. Is it big crap? Absolutely not. So I've just started putting my tables together. This one. That is not stable at all. I'm not putting a massive display on this. What the fuck? Okay, let's try and find someone that we can complain to. There's got to be someone around here. Hiya. Just a quick one. Is it possible to radio someone for one of my tables? One of my tables is massively like wobbly, so I don't want to put a display on it that's going to fall over. Right. I'm on table 5D6. Okay. But literally one of the tables is fully sort of like...
I don't know radio. If you go to the main entrance, they got radio.
Just keep going around.
Maybe the organizer.
Yeah, alright, thank you. What I'm more concerned about is that I've only got an hour to unload all my stuff. And if I'm spending 20 minutes running around trying to get a new table before I can start, I don't want to get a fine. Hiya, sorry, is it possible, I'm assuming you're with the event itself, yeah? Is it possible to get someone to my table? One of my tables is massively like uneven, so I don't want to be putting stuff on it, it's going to tip over the weekend.
What you need to do is if you go up to hall 3A,
okay.
Go up to the city organiser and I'll sort it out.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Okay,
Cheers.
Just straight on the top.
Thank you. Hey, alright. I've got an issue with one of my tables, and my stand is like massively uneven, so I'm worried about putting my display on it and it toppling over.
Is it one of these?
It's one of the wooden trestle things, yeah. Spoke to the organisers. They basically said that there are no spare tables, but there might be some spare tables, so I need to go to a different part of the hall and speak to someone else who might be able to give me a spare table that might exist, but it might not exist. But there were some put aside that do exist, if they exist. Okay, table gate is solved. They've given me this table that's going to replace that table, and I was told to just leave that one just to one side. Yeah, problem solved. Okay, so an issue that I now have, now I've got 2 different tables, is they're not the same height. So if I flip my camera around, so this is the trestle table that I was supposed to have, 2 of these. This is the one that I got from the autograph station. If you look, the trestle table is higher than autograph table, which means I can't connect this part of my stand to that part of my stand. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just little things like that you can't plan for until you physically get in the space. And the table is now set up, completely set up. So we have the second building, which actually I think looks really good. I am a bit annoyed that there is that gap in between them, but there's nothing I can really do to fix this. I can move the beige building in a little bit, but I don't think it's really sort of a deal breaker. It does look a lot more like I envisioned it to. Now that this beige building's come forward, I think it's starting to look really, really cool. On this side, we've got like some blank beige panels here. I think for October, I'm going to create something to go on here, like windows or some of my OCs to sort of live there. Because as you walk along, it does look a little bit bare. After what feels like the world's longest day, I'm back at the hotel. I've had some food. I had like a veggie supreme pizza from a pizza place like a 10-minute walk away. I wanted to sort of get outside and just get some air and like walk and try and sort of just like center myself a little bit. One of my big fears for this weekend is burnout, right? So it's a 3-day, it's a 3-show like event, a 3-day event. You know what I'm trying to say. The show has 3 days, whatever. There's a lot of hours. There's priority at 10 a.m. tomorrow, 11 a.m. Saturday. Is that right? Wait, 10 a.m. tomorrow, 9 a.m. on Saturday, and then 10 again on Sunday. But the balancing act feels very difficult at the minute, and I wasn't expecting it. I think something that I didn't really anticipate is when you're booking events that are in the future, you don't really think about how you're going to feel as a human being in the in-between times and all the little things you have to get done. So like this week, I streamed on Monday, and then D&D on Wednesdays, so I didn't have tons of time to like do stuff. Let's redo that. Section. I haven't actually managed to sort of centre myself properly since Manchester. I got back from Manchester late on Sunday night, and then was straight back to work Monday morning. So worked my day job Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today woke up and drove up here. But I had too much to do in terms of like prep for today after Manchester. So aside from things like restocks, so reprinting some stickers that sold out, I also had to print all my Delicious in Dungeon stickers. I had to create a load of boards for the beige building, which weren't made because those panels didn't exist back in May. So there's all these little things I've had to do for this weekend that I haven't really been, I haven't had the mental capacity to deal with. The thing is, it's never the actual events themselves that I find stressful. It's always the prep. Maybe it's because I used to be a theatre kid, but whenever I'm at an event and it's like go time, I find it so easy to just like, and then, you know, I think part of it might even be the fact that I wear an apron, so I have my little costume for Prady Mocha, and then when people are there, I'm just playing shops, and I'm playing the role of like the artist, and maybe that's why I find it so easy to be at the events. But when I'm not at the events, that's when I struggle. But it is time for me to turn in. I'm going to finish my cup of tea and then pass it. I look like a vicar. In the little viewfinder. This here. Oh. I woke up at about 6:30 this morning without any alarms. I'm really bad at waking up on time on a regular day. But when something important is about to happen, whether that's a con or I've got a 9 a.m. meeting or things like that, I will wake up so early, just like I never get a good night's sleep.
I think I'm paranoid about oversleeping, but I'm not a scientist. So we're on coffee number 2 and the hall opens in 5 minutes. I'm setting up my little battle station. So I've got all of my phone charms and key rings sort of there. When they're laid out like this, it's actually quite a lot. I'm now putting badges out here. Stickers will be under the deck there. And then over here I have my standees. I need to sort of set these up so they're standing upright. We're an hour and a half into priority for the Friday and I haven't made a sale yet. It's a little bit concerning, I'm not going to lie, but I have got a really low sort of profit threshold and Fridays are always a quiet day, so I'm not too worried. I'm hoping that when 12 o'clock comes around and they open the door for general, a lot more people will come in and it'll start to feel more lively. The general consensus among traders though is that it is very, very quiet. General entry is now open, the priority hours are done. Priority was very, very slow. I'm kind of keeping hold of the fact that I'm in the second hall toward the back, so it's not as if I'm like by the doors as people come in. Hiya.
One of those ones, please.
Yeah, there's a phone charm, yeah? Yeah, sure thing. Good choice. That is legally the best slime in the game, so good choice. So I've literally just had to put a sold out sign here for my A5 Starlight prints. Not because I've sold out of them, but because I completely forgot to restock my prints. Normally I never have to worry, but I must have taken the last one last weekend and not realised. So someone just tried to buy one and I've just realised, oh shit, I don't have any. So I've made this like makeshift sign and I'll have to print some more like after this event, which kind of sucks since we're on day one. What I will be doing though is with my prints, printing them in-house. So I have this more like matte paper compared to this one, which is more silk. So the Starlight prints that come back will be much more matte, but it's so annoying. So annoying. Yeah, one of these ones, yeah?
The chain.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right, sorry.
You're A-O there.
Amazing. One of those. Let's pop this through for you. Let's go key rings. Mosaic. Cool, that'd be 8 in total then. Is that on card?
Yes, please.
Should be there in just a second for you. If the Wi-Fi's working. Amazing. So I'll give you... Amazing, give you that. And then I'll also give you one of these. Free little sticker.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.
There's a couple hours left for today and it's a pretty slow day. There's been a few issues that the artists have been discussing amongst themselves, one of which is that the main doors to this hall are closed. You can't come in through there. In order to get to this part of the hall, you need to go in through like one hall, travel through another one, down a flight of stairs, and then you're in the far corner compared to where I am now. So it's quite a slog for people to actually get to us. But the thing is, there are massive doors at the end of my sort of like row that in theory people should be coming into, and they're not open for re-entry. So it's kind of ridiculous in that people can't get here really easily. That being said, I am like way ahead of my break-even sort of tracking, so I should be fine for the weekend. But it is quite a worrying thing that something so important is out of all of our control. So the stand is closed for the day. It was quiet. The last 2 hours have been super, super quiet. I think that I don't think I'm going to lose money this weekend, but there definitely were some red flags that came up. I'm going to hope. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to hope that they're going to be fixed tomorrow. Like, access to this hall has been an issue today, so I am hoping that they're going to fix that for tomorrow. I'm hoping there'll be more staff because it's a Saturday. If that is the real issue, the big doors were open at points, they were closed at points, and the footfall's been weird. Hi, yeah, can I get a mighty bucket for 1 mil, please?
Mighty bucket for one.
Yes, please.
What drink would you like?
Is it Tango you've got here?
Yeah, tango orange.
Yeah, can I get a Tango, please?
Yeah, anything else?
That's all, thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing, thank you very much. Cheers. Okay, I'm back at my hotel. I've eaten a bucket of chicken and I'm going to have a cup of tea and we're just going to have a little conversation. Apologies in advance if the editing feels a bit choppy. I don't remember what I've said. My brain is gone. So I'm just going to spew thoughts on today, and if I have to cut things out, I'll cut things out. So how do I feel like today has gone is a difficult one to answer. If this was an event run by a different company, I'd have different thoughts. If this was like a megacon, for example, I would be like, you know what, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. But it's not. And there's definitely major red flags at this event. The biggest red flag is the access issue, in that they're not opening the doors for the hall that half of the vendors are in. Half of the traders, the autograph hall, artist alley, they're not opening the doors for that space. But here's where it gets a bit more strange. The area before the stairs, so if you're coming from hall 4 going to hall 5, where I am, from 4 to 5, you've got an area that there's like a photo, like there's sort of Japanese archway prop that you can take pictures with. There's seating. There's like, I think it's a craft area. I'm not sure what the area is. I haven't been there today. It looks like a rest stop. It looks like this is public seating that you can just chill out in a quiet area that's tucked away from the main hall. It's not super clear, but that's like a thoroughfare that you can walk through to see more things. And so I don't know if that's impacting people from even going through and seeing the other half of the hall. I don't know. What I do know is that the traffic in hall 4 was vastly superior to the traffic in hall 5. Now there's other stuff going on as well, in that there were a lot of trader tables that were not sold. There were either missing sections or rows that like weren't there, but you can tell something was supposed to be there, or just empty tables. So one of my friends has his table, and on the row that he's on, of the 5 tables that are there, there's only one that has someone there. The other 4 are empty. So what does this mean? Well, by the looks of things, some traders are taking it upon themselves to move their tables overnight somewhere else, whether that's to an empty space in hall 4 or to a better location in hall 5, because even within hall 5 there are good spots and bad spots. I don't know what the organisers are going to do about that, but you can't have traders just moving around willy-nilly. You can't have that. But can you blame them? And in fact, even the corporate girlies are mad. One of the artists who paid for a corporate booth that's like near the door is now really mad because those doors are not open. This artist has basically paid a lot of money to be in a terrible location by doors that don't open that should be open. That must be so infuriating. But honestly, I don't know. We'll see what happens on the day, but it's been a weird one. I don't think I'll be losing money, but this is definitely not an event that I'm going to be writing home about. I think I may end up sending like an email afterwards to sort of voice my concerns if things don't improve. Happy Saturday, good morning, let's get into it. So, after a night's sleep, I feel a lot better about the prospect of today. I'm going to go to the organiser's office when I get in, and I'm going to sort of ask, or make a bit of a Karen of myself when it comes to the door situation. The more I think about it, the more annoyed I am by the fact that we have to beg for a door to be open to the hall we're in when we're paying hundreds of pounds, in some cases thousands of pounds, to be there. But I am very much reframing my headspace and seeing this as a learning opportunity that I'm not going to be losing money at, rather than trying to sort of treat this as the next big event for me.
What can I get you?
Yeah, can I get a sausage and egg McMuffin meal, please?
Sausage and egg McMuffin?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Anything else?
A latte with that, please.
A latte. Would you like to make that a meal?
Yes, please, yeah. As a side note, when will the horrors of Comic Sans cease to plague me? I hate that so much. So we're just about 12:30 and it has been slow today. I think I was actually doing better at this point yesterday than I am today, which is crazy considering that we opened an hour earlier today. The weird thing is it feels busier. Like it feels busier, but I don't know, the vibes are weird. I came in today pretty confident that by around lunchtime today all my costs would be covered and I would be able to just chill out for the rest of the weekend. But as it stands right now, this feels weird. I was doing better. I did better at MegaCon Manchester last weekend, and that is a much smaller con. The general consensus from other artists is that yeah, there's way more footfall today, but it feels way less busy in terms of volume of sales, and the sales themselves are also a lower monetary amount. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean that people are doing their shopping later in the day? Are they going to the autographs first? I don't know. It's a tough one. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But right now, the sirens are getting louder, the trumpets are blaring, whatever it is, the flags are being raised. It's a weird one.
So the chest shaker is a mimic, so it looks like a chest, but it is a mimic, and there's like teeth hiding inside.
And then you put the little...
Yeah, so it comes with they each come with a little booster pack, and then if you do you play D&D? Yeah, so then I assume so. Yeah, but I don't know. But then depending on what class you are, there's different booster packs you can get to like make it more like for your character. So yeah.
We're now rounding into the last hour and a half of Saturday, and about an hour ago I finally broke even for this event. So that means the event's covered, my petrol's covered, the hotel's covered, everything is covered, which takes a lot of stress off for me. It means that for the next day or so I can just relax and enjoy the con for what it is, rather than stressing about the con not being what I wanted it to be. As expected, the Storm Rancher stuff has got a lot of love this weekend. I've sold so much, and genuinely, if the owners of Storm Rancher ever send me a cease and desist, Praline as we know it will cease to function, so don't do it, please. Also, surprisingly, I've sold a lot more prints than I typically do at events. There are some prints I want to update, some new prints I want to do and add. I feel like if you can sell prints at like an art event, then your art is good, and I feel like I'm turning that corner little by little each event. It's 5:45 now and the con is basically over. The aisles are super dead, and door closes in 15 minutes. So I'm going to put my stand to sleep and go home. Right, how do we summarise Saturday of MCM? Here's the thing. So a lot of the negative outcomes from yesterday still persisted today, right? The footfall was higher, but across the board from artists that I spoke to, that didn't necessarily translate to more sales. Typically with events, what you take on a Friday, you'll take twice of on the Saturday, and the same on the Sunday. So for every like £100 you take on Friday, you take 200 on Saturday and 100 on Sunday. That's more or less how everything typically shakes out. This was not that. This was a 1-for-1 Friday to Saturday. So it felt weird. It felt very weird. But the issue that I keep coming up against is that this event exists under the MCM umbrella.
and MCM is typically the like jewel in the crown of UK events. This ain't that. And especially when you contrast this against MegaCon Manchester that was last weekend, I'm doing significantly worse at this event than I am at a much smaller event like in Manchester. That aside, today was still a fine day. Like, I'm not going to write home about this event. This doesn't come close to the London MCM event. Doesn't come close. But this is really disappointing because I was hoping that this year I could really bolt down a collection of events that I would go to each and every time, and sort of start to understand what kind of income I could be expecting from Praline Mocha if I hit these 4 or 5 big events each year. But this one, which I thought I'd be able to count on, kind of isn't all that. Okay, right. I need to go to bed. Let's roll on tomorrow. Yeah, can I get a sausage egg muffin meal, please?
Sausage, egg, muffin meal, what drink?
Latte, please.
Latte, anything else?
That's all, thank you. General trading hours started about half an hour ago, so we've got about 4.5 hours. Is that how time works? Yeah, 4.5 hours left of the day of the event, and it's still super slow today. It's still really, really slow. The aisles aren't super busy. It just feels really, really slow and kind of depressing.
What's the homophobic vase?
Oh, so it's from the Magnus Archives.
You've let us down.
So there's a guy who buys this vase and it starts stealing all his things. So he loses his shoes, he loses like a book, and then he loses his husband. So everyone's like, "What a homophobic vase!"
Our local Magnus fan.
Right, that's $2.50 then, please. The card should be right there. Do you want a bag for this?
No thanks, I've got one.
Awesome, incredible. There's my card. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Have a nice day.
You too. So as we turn the corner into the last 30 minutes of the con, it's dead. It's absolutely dead. We're not allowed to pack away until 5, but that's not stopping me from doing the slow pack that happens behind the table. Keyrings are going in boxes, sticker boxes are being folded up, the prints will start going away, so everything basically is going to be put away, so it's not necessarily immediately to hand. I don't expect to be making any more money today. I might make 1 or 2 more sales, but nothing substantial at this point, which, you know, is kind of part of the course. To help me with packing up, I did make a list where I've got what's supposed to go in each of my 7 crates. So what I can do is start packing some of this stuff away, knowing that like I won't need it for the next half an hour. Obviously, I can't fully start packing away, but if I can get the ball rolling now, it means that as soon as doors close, I can finish, go get the car, and then get out of here.
Okie dokie. Right, let's talk about MCM, shall we? Let's do a little conclusion. It's 25 to midnight, and I've not just got home. I've been home for a minute. But yeah, let's talk about this event. I think the main thing I'm going to take away from this is that it was fine. It was fine as an event. It was fine. I think in terms of like actual money made, I made more last weekend at MegaCon Manchester, sorry, than I did at MCM, and I think that the issue that I had with this weekend is, I think, the legacy of MCM. So for those of you that don't know, MCM is like the big dog in the UK. The UK doesn't have tons of huge conventions, definitely none to the scale that they have in America, right? But MCM is like the big one in the UK. And MCM London, specifically the October show, is like the one for the year, right? May is really, really good. October's really, really good, better than May. So there's this sort of like prestige that comes with an MCM event. They've been going for ages. Like I went to MCMs back in 2008, 9, like so long ago. Like this is not some like new on the scene, like scrappy can-do attitude kind of con. So I think that going into it with the MCM name in mind, I was expecting more. I think one of the biggest red flags at this event was the floor plan, right? So the floor plan itself was done in a really weird way, where people couldn't find Hall 5, where where Artist Alley was and a lot of the vendors were. There was no real signposts between Hall 4 and Hall 5. So it was very difficult for people to find where we were. I asked a few people throughout the day, like, how are you finding it? Did you find us okay? All this sort of stuff. And the same messages came up time and time again. I didn't know this hall was here. Like, we couldn't work out how to get here. The floor plan's not very clear. And the thing is, if it was one or two people in an event with thousands of people, that's one thing. But when it's a consistent message coming through that people didn't realise Hall 5 existed, they couldn't get there, the floor plan made no sense, that's on the organisers. Like, the organisers changed the floor plan and kept changing the floor plan until like a week before the event. So I wasn't in any stamp rallies, but some people who were in stamp rallies, they, like, in a stamp rally you get a map for the event. The maps were useless going into the event because people had been moved around. Yeah, so in summary, I'd say the two major issues with this event were the fact that, like, facilities weren't thought out properly, floor plan wasn't thought out properly, and I guess of that, Hall 5 was severely neglected, and that's half the space. So that being said, will I be going next year? No, I won't be. I can't go next year because MegaCon Manchester already secured those dates. And with MegaCon Manchester, it is a really great event. It's really competitive to get into, and all the tables sold out in 4 minutes. With MegaCon Manchester, they have a priority booking situation. So if you were at an event, you get to rebook for next year ahead of time. The issue MCM's going to have is trying to convince artists or vendors in general who are already booked into MegaCon Manchester to give up their booking for next year at MegaCon Manchester to vend at MCM with no guarantee of placement, no guarantee of like quality of event, and also to do that and give up the opportunity of being at future MegaCon Manchesters because of the priority booking system. And of some of the people that I spoke to, they were saying we're either going to proxy at MCM or we're just not going to do it. But it is that time of the video, of course, where I do the annoying YouTube things and say, like the video, hit subscribe and that bell icon, do all that stuff. If you enjoyed this, if you saw me at MCM, let me know in the comments down below, etc. I'm super excited to put together a video showing my table evolution so far because the journey has been wild. So if you want to see that, trust me, the evolution is insane. So if you want to see that, that is where we hit the subscribe button. And I'm being dead serious, like, the glow up has been so real. But thank you so much for watching this. If I've been your background ambient noise, thank you so much for that. And if you've been glued to every second, thank you for that. And until next time, goodbye.